I've seen my wife, Michelle, the foundation of the Obama family, juggling jobs and parenting with more skill and grace than anyone that I know, and looking really good doing it. But I've also seen how it tears at her, trying to split herself up into so many different parts. How sometimes she's with the girls and she's worrying about work, and when she's at work, she's worrying about the girls. And how sometimes, as a consequence, she's feeling that she's not doing either thing as well as she wants to do it. Not because she isn't. She's actually the best mother I know and one of the most brilliant women I know, but because it wears on you. And she starts thinking, why am I not getting more help? And you know, as her husband, I've described in my books and in the past sort of the pain that I've seen her undergo, and understood that partly because of how our society's been structured and some of our legacy and our history and our biases, that I'm complicit in some ways in some of the struggles that she's gone through. And it's something I hear all the time from working parents, especially working women, many of whom are working more than one job to make ends meet. And then there are the jobs you have once the workday ends, whether it's cleaning the house or paying the bills or buying groceries or helping with the science project or enforcing those bedtimes, the jobs that you don't get paid for, but that hold our families together and hold our nation together, jobs that still, even in the year 2008, fall all too often to women. But let's be clear, these issues, equal pay, work-family balance, child care, these are not simply women's issues. When a job doesn't offer family leave, that hurts men as well as women, men who may want to help care for a new baby or an ailing parent. When there's no affordable child care or after-school programs, that hurts children who wind up in second-rate care or end up spending afternoons alone in front of the television. When women still make up just 77 cents, just make 77 cents for every dollar that men make, and Black and Latino women make even less, that doesn't just hurt women, it hurts entire families, since women now, 62% of families see the woman making at least half and often more of the total income. So that means that the entire family finds themselves with less income and have to work even harder just to get by. So you'd think solving these problems would be one of our highest national priorities. But while some politicians in Washington make a lot of noise about family values, when it comes to what people actually need to support their families and care for their families and spend time with their families, these same politicians get awfully quiet. And year after year, it just gets harder for working parents, especially working women, to make a living while raising their kids. We take it for granted that women are the backbone of our families, but we all too often ignore the fact that women are also the backbone of the middle class. We won't truly have an economy that puts the needs of the middle class first until we ensure that when it comes to pay and benefits at work, women are treated like equal partners. That's been the law of the land, but it has not been enforced. And as the son, grandson, and husband of hard-working mothers, I don't accept an America that makes women choose between their children and their careers. I don't accept that women are denied jobs or promotions because they've got children at home. I don't accept that 22 million working women don't have a single paid sick day. I don't accept that millions of working mothers could actually be fired for taking maternity leave, and that 78% of workers who have family leave can't afford to take it because it's not paid. No matter what you do for a living, I think we can all agree that raising our children and caring for our loved one is one of the most important jobs that we have. And it's time we started making that job a little bit easier, especially for working women. And that means giving working parents tax credits to help with their child care and to provide after-school and summer learning programs and early childhood education programs to keep our children safe and ensure that they start school ready to learn. It means dramatically expanding the Family and Medical Leave Act to reach millions of people who aren't covered today, and ensuring people can take leave not just to stay home with a new baby, but also to care for an elderly parent, because a whole lot of families are getting squeezed on both sides of the demographic line and participate in school activities like parent-teacher conferences and assemblies. It means standing up for paid leave and paid sick leave, because no one should be punished for getting sick or dealing with a family crisis. And it means fighting for equal pay for women. In 2008, when 62% of working women earn half or more than half of a total family's earnings, you'd think that the pay gap would have been a thing of the past, or at least we'd be united in our determination to guarantee that women are fairly paid for their work. But Senator McCain and I have a real difference on this issue. Senator Clinton and Senator McCain have a real difference on this issue. Senator McCain thinks the Supreme Court got it right last year when they handed down the Ledbetter case that makes it more difficult for women to challenge pay discrimination at work. He opposed legislation that Senator Clinton and I co-sponsored to reverse that decision. He suggested the reason women don't have equal pay isn't discrimination on the job, it's because they need more education and training. Well, let's be clear. The problem in these kinds of cases isn't that women are somehow unqualified or unprepared for higher paying positions. The problem is that some employers aren't paying women fairly. The problem is too many women aren't able to challenge the employers who are underpaying them. And the solution is to finally close that gap and overturn that case and pay women what they've earned, nothing less. And that's what I'll do when I'm President of the United States. This isn't just an economic issue for millions of Americans and their families. It's a question of who we are as a country and what values we reflect as a nation. And let's be clear, the Supreme Court's ruling on equal pay is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's at stake in this election. Usually when we talk about the court, it's in the context of reproductive rights and Roe versus Wade. And make no mistake about it, that's a critical issue in this election. Senator McCain has made it abundantly clear that he wants to appoint justices like Roberts and Alito, and that he hopes to see Roe overturned. I was proud to get Planned Parenthood's endorsement yesterday, but I have to say that when you look at one candidate who's got 100% rating from Planned Parenthood, and you've got another candidate with a 0% rating from Planned Parenthood, then it's not really a nail-biter. I stand by my votes against confirming Justices Roberts and Alito. I made it equally clear that I will never back down from making sure that women have their reproductive rights here in this country. That's what's at stake in this election.